I feel there is a very much a difference between that house is more of a kind of a physical structure. Home is more of a social structure, right? And so I noticed that it's funeral for home, right? And I think home is personal and also universal symbolic meanings, where the occupants and this particular house is not the same. You know, we move a lot, okay? So for this house, it provides home for many different people. It becomes different homes in single house.
This idea of multiple lives and multiple conceptions of home in one place. I mean, I think this house that we're happen to be working with here in Mantua is beautifully illustrative of that in many ways. It's almost perfectly reflective of the demographic shifts that happened in Mantua going back to the early 20th century.
You know, projects like this are great opportunities for people to kind of question, you know, why are things dying? You know, why are these buildings dying, these homes and houses dying in our communities? You can't focus on it on a daily basis, but having a ritual, I mean, that's what funerals do for us anyway, right? It gives us that opportunity that we can, you know, we can come together and experience it in that intense way, and then we can kind of move back from it. It gives us a relief.
Creating this punctuation or this pause with funeral for a home is potentially really interesting because it creates this, like, it brings together a space, I think, which could be is really amazing, where people bring their conversations that they're already having.
We've been using this term of that the project can be a pause for reflection, but then I think it is also that step of, well, what is the work to be done after that? Like, what is the afterlife of such a project such as this? Which is, how do you guys mobilize good intentions into community action?
First thing that we do is we call into question, what is a good intention? And in that, we ask ourselves, what assumptions are we already bringing to the idea of a good intention?
Because I think when you interrupt what your good intention is, then you're forced to come back to yourself. And not only that, but you're forced to mix your good intentions with other people's intention.
If we think that always the answers have to come from the outside, which is kind of this like homogenizing model that I think that we're used to in thinking about urban revitalization and all of these things, then we don't actually get to create value in the places that we live with each other.
I think the biggest problem we have is not listening enough, not learning enough, and not loving enough. Because when you go into a community, if you're not able to do those three things, it's going to be hard to do anything. And I just wondered about whether you feel that artists can play that role.
Dana and Leslie and I really value interdisciplinarity. It's an amazing thing. And we also are often in the position of realizing that we are not the most qualified person to do a job that we think should be done. So one of our explicit stated intentions when people ask us, what do you do, why do you do it, is to move resources from an arts economy to a local economy. And the way that we do that most often is by creating paid work for people from our neighborhood to do creative cultural work that they have unique expertise in.
We need critical work. You know, we need to be able to take our practice and raise very critical questions. If we just do creative work, I think it's too easy to be commodified, bought, gentrified, we just become some just kind of a cute excuse for the others who are much more empowered than ourselves. So in that sense, we are actually in similar position with the others.
Yeah, you know, but maybe what we do best, in the best work that we do, is work that kind of help people see the problems clear, you know, and think about them clear. And that's why, you know, this project, you know, Funeral for a Home becomes important. And, you know, I mean, we don't have the capacity to really solve the problems, but we can actually create some interesting symbolic gestures that help frame the problem, show the problem in different ways, and kind of move the solution, if there is a solution, kind of forward.